Unit 6, Supplementary, The Little Hero of Holland. About the author, Mark Maples Dodge was an American children's author and editor, best known for her novel Icebreaker. She was able to persuade many of the great writers of the world to contribute to her children's magazines St. Nicholas. See the key points. This is the story of a little boy with a brave heart and passionate. The meaning of passionate is deep. Passionate love for his village. The Dutch boy, Peter, heard water trickling through a small hole on the dike. Dike means embankment for controlling the water of the sea or a river. Embankment means wall to prevent a river flood of an area. The boy stuck his finger in the hole. All night, the boy Peter sat there with his finger in the dike. A man and the rescue crew saved the boy and mended the dike wall. See the gist of the story. Holland is the country where the lands mostly lie below sea level. Only great walls, called dikes, keep the North Sea from rushing in and flooding the land. For centuries, the people of Holland have worked to keep the walls strong so that their country will be safe and dry. Even the little children are aware that a small leak in the dike will cause an irreparable danger to the land and the people. Many years ago, there lived in Holland a boy named Peter. Peter's father was assigned the task of tending the great gates in the dike called slides. The tending means taking care of. He used to take care the gates of the dike. He opened and closed the sluices so that ships could pass out of Holland's canals into the Great Sea. One afternoon in the early fall, when Peter was 8 years old, his mother called him and asked him to go across the dike and give cake to his friend, the blind man, and advised him not to play and asked him to reach home before dark. Peter spent his time with his blind friend happily. Peter told his friend about his walk along the dike, sunflowers and the ships far out at sea and set out for home. On his way, distracted by the flowers, the butterflies and the birds, he played for many hours near the dikes that ran by the roads. Peter's father always said that about the angry waters, because if there is heavy flood, the result is dangerous to the people and the land. Suddenly he noticed that the sun was setting and it was going dark. He thought his mother would be waiting for him, and so he ran towards home. Just then he heard a tiny trickle. The trickle means flowing in a small stream. He heard a tiny trickle of water coming from the dike wall, and as he approached it, he saw a small hole in the dike letting water flow in. The small boy Peter understood the danger at once. If the water ran through a little hole, it would soon make a larger one, and the whole country would be flooded. In a moment he saw what he must do. He stuck his finger in the hole in the dike and the leak stopped. He couldn't move. He stood there with his finger in the hole in the dike. It grew still colder. His arm ached and began to grow stiff and numb. He cried for help, but no one came. He stayed there all night, keeping the sea out, but he knew he was doing his duty. In the morning, a man heard Peter's groan for help. The man called for others to come and repair the dike. the villagers came with shovels, and the hole was soon mended. And the man carried Peter home. Bravely, Peter stood there all night in the cold, and great personal sacrifice. But can we imagine how much worse the situation could have been had Peter struggled his shoulders and left the hole unplugged? Here, the story highlights the boy's patriotism, love for fellow beings, presence of mind, brave decision, and timely action. The people celebrated the brave little hero of Holland.
No, I don't wanna waste what's left.